Okay, so as promised, HU100R, I've already done a video with the locking device, and I've explained how easy it is to pick something when you can control the angle, the weather, and you know, i.e. being nice and dry in a warm environment, and being able to angle the locking device to the best position for you. So as promised, I'm outside on a BMW. As you can hear the tractors going past. BMW Series 4 Gran Coupe 2019. So I would treat this as if I've come out to do it as a job. I'm sat on a stool. I don't kneel. I find kneeling uncomfortable, so I'm sat on a stool. It's very windy. It's very cold. There's a bright sunshine, but it's very cold. You can probably see the tripod moving with the pick. So I'm going to try and get comfortable. So I'm going to have to lean against the car and try and get comfortable. So if I make sure the pick is all the way in, a little bit of tension to begin with. Okay, so first of all I'm going to go to number 2. Number 2 is bouncing. I'm going to go to number 4. Number 4 is solid. Now with this pick, it is so sensitive, so a little pick there on number 4. Over to number 6, it's bouncing. Over to number 8, it's bouncing. Not a lot, but it's bouncing, so leave it alone. So I'll bring that back, and I'll now go 7. Nothing in that, leave it. 5, there's a little pick in 5, leave it. 3, seems to be bouncing. 1, just ease off the tension a little bit. There's a click there. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to go back to number 2, bouncing. Back to number 4, bouncing. Back to number 6, bouncing. Back to number 8, bouncing. So I'm going to go, and now the sun's in my eyes. My hands are beginning to get cold. So number 7, there's that wind. Number 5 has gone solid, so there's a pick on number 5. Number 3 seems to still be bouncing. Number 1 has gone solid. I'm going to give number 1 a little pick. So I'm going to go back to number 2, it's bouncing. Back to number 4, it's bouncing. Back to number 6, it's bouncing. Back to number 8, it's bouncing. So I'm going to go back to number 7. Back to number 5. Number 5's gone solid again. So I'm just easing off, and there's number 5. So I'm just going to leave it for a second. Over to number 3, gone solid. There's number 3, bouncing. Over to number 1 is okay. I'm going to go back to this number 5. Just pick that number 5 now. So I'm just quickly going to go back. Number 2, number 4, number 6, number 8. Number 8 seems to still be bouncing. Over to 1, seems okay. 3 seems to have gone solid. Solid again. That seems now to be bouncing. Number 5, number 7. Over to number 1. And there it's gone. So that's probably took what, 3 or 4 minutes. But again, it's not a comfortable pick, as picking on any vehicle isn't. Some people like to kneel down, some people like to sit on a stool, some people will crouch. I have a stool. I find my best position leaning against the car. and then I pick the best way possible. So let's just have another go at that. Okay, so I'll take that out. You can see the wind blowing everything. My hands are a little bit cold now. So let's have a look. So pick all the way in. I've put a little bit of tension on. Okay, so let's have a look at this again. So over to number 2, bouncing. Over to number 4, it's solid, very tiny. That's it, look at that tiny little pick. Over to number 6, bouncing. Over to number 8, it's bouncing, leave it. Over to number 7, number 7 doesn't want to move. Over to number 5, bouncing. Okay, over to number 3, bouncing. Over to number 1. So just easing off on the tension. Number 1 there is picked. Okay, now it's solid still, so I'm going to give it another pick. There it goes. So number 2 is bouncing, number 4 is bouncing, number 6 is bouncing, and number 8 is bouncing. As you can hear, I live rural, so that's another tractor gone past. So bouncing. So back to the top. Number 7 is solid, not moving. I'm not going to force it. Number 5 is solid but picked. I'm going to do it again. There, now it's bouncing. Number 3 has gone solid, so I'm going to pick number 3. It's still solid. I'm going to pick it again. Number 1, there's a little pick, and there the pick is gone. So probably 2.5-3 minutes. So what I would encourage people to do is practice on as many cars as is possible. Friends' cars, mums, dads, brothers, sisters, because it is different picking all conditions. You know, I will come and pick out in the cold. I will pick if it's sun shining, I'll pick if it's snowing or raining, because you've got to get used. Because if you think about it, that 2.5-3 minutes there has just made you 65, 75. If it's night time after 10 o'clock, 95, 105. You know, it's just that 2 or 3 minutes of work has just made you some good money. And if you think about it, if you had 5 or 6 a day, you'd be quids in. So practice, practice and practice.